So I'm going to start today off by talking about what's probably an unpopular opinion. And it's not meant to be. I just have this thing where I don't buy people's BS, or I just don't buy what people say right off the bat, right? Like some people would call it pessimistic. I call it rational judging. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. It's just simply what I do because since I've worked with kids, you kind of, not to say that all kids lie, but you really have to decipher through what they're saying, because a lot of times they're just kind of speaking emotionally, or they're speaking hastily and they really don't know what they're talking about. So you've got to decipher what they're saying. So I've taken that same logic just kind of unconsciously and applied it to adults, athletes, anyone who's talking, right? So yesterday, Steph Curry was talking. I don't know exactly who was interviewing him or what the occasion was, but it was him and his wife were out, something along those lines. And Steph Curry made the comment about, well, now that I've got this new deal, I'm going to make sure that I'm being a bigger force in the community and I'm giving back more to the community. Okay. So it's not a bad thing to say. I'm not going to come on here and say, Steph, you're a terrible person. You want to give back. How dare you, you terrible human. I will say, I think it falls in line with a lot of celebrities and a lot of rich people who are just fake generous. Yeah. Steph Curry, you are fake generous. Here's what I mean by that. So, and I'm going to probably get some backlash for this, but I don't care. When a guy sits there and says, I'm going to start giving back, I'm going to start helping out in the community, there's two things we need to keep in context with this. A, when you are a celebrity or a star, or you are someone who is just well known, right? You enter this air of you being somewhere can count as a write-off. Like, my favorite example is Drake went to a strip club, spent like $100,000, and because the strip club got to say, hey, Drake's here tonight, Drake got to use it as a tax write-off because it was advertising. When these guys give to charities, when these guys give to different community organizations, or they give to these different projects that are going on in their community, that stuff are write-offs. It's not to say that they don't mean good by it, but if you really mean good by it, and no one will ever release this, obviously, for personal reasons. No one, generally, most people that are not politicians or in super high positions don't release their taxes. And no athlete or celebrity will ever release their taxes and say, it's like, well, if you were really trying to be generous, why did you still claim the $80,000 you gave back to charity? Oh, because you want your 15 to 20% back at the end of the year. Let me put this in another terms. For Steph Curry, who's going to be making $35 to $40 million, I don't know what he's going to end up making after taxes, but the man's going to be making a lot of money, right? So cool. Now you're going to give him back. Well, I know Steph was underpaid by NBA standards, but the man still came off a 4-year, $40 million deal, or 4 years, $44 million. You couldn't help anyone out when you had $44 million on your contract? That wasn't enough for you? And I'm not one to sit there and tell anyone how to spend their money, what to do with it. I'm just saying, cut the crap. Don't be fake generous. Don't sit there and say now you're going to start helping out because you just have all this money coming in. I know people that help out and they don't make $1,000 a month, and they're trying to help people, like whether it's friends, family, people in their community. Steph Curry, let's put this in context really quick. Before the recession, there's about 500,000 Americans. USA, there's a lot of people. 500,000 of them made $1 million a year, right? This isn't even the 1% of people. You always hear about the elite 1%, because not everybody in the 1% makes $1 million a year. They've just accumulated enough stuff, and they have net worth is different than what your earnings are. After the recession, which we are post, 246,000 people the last 3 years have made over $1 million a year. These people have helped out. That is a 0.1% of people. Not 1%, not 0.5, not 0.8, 0.1% of people. If you get 10 people in a room, you kill 9.5 and leave some dude's arm. That is the average American who makes $1 million a year. Steph Curry is making $11 million a year. And now he wants to talk about giving back to the community. Now he wants to give back and be a difference maker and be one of those socially conscious. I don't even have a word for him. And like I said, I'm not here. I'm not going to start shouting. I'm not going to sit there and start getting angry. It's not the point of this. I'm simply stating Steph Curry's being fake generous. It's not genuine to my eyes. Maybe he'll completely shock me. He'll see this video and he'll release his tax and say, you know what? I didn't claim a single thing. And if he does, congratulations to him. That's a great thing, a beautiful thing you're doing for humanity. But someone still has to look at it objectively, because Steph Curry is one of the most 3 or 4 most popular athletes in the world right now. Like, he can do just about anything and no one will even think other of it. Think about it. If Steph Curry just had the video that came out last week of him and Kyrie Irving mocking LeBron's workout video, if LeBron mocked Steph Curry, and LeBron's got a huge veil of popularity too that he gets to hide behind, people would have killed him. It would have been the big dude picking on the little guy. It's no different than if I go to a school tomorrow and try to beat up a 5th grader. It's going to look real bad, doesn't matter how popular I am. Steph Curry got to do it, and everyone thought it was great. It was awesome. It was funny. Steph Curry threw his mouthpiece and shouted up a storm on the court, and it was, wow, look at Steph. He's so into the game. He's so passionate. Shaq threw his mouthpiece one time, started shouting off at everybody, and people thought someone was about to get swung on, and everyone was scared like hell. But it's okay. Steph did it. He's a little guy. It's okay. He's the kid. It's almost like a puppy mentality, or like a new cat, a new kitten. When they're chewing on something that you have, it's like, oh no, don't worry. It's a little kitten. It's a little puppy. He doesn't know any better. He's got this mask and or veil of popularity that protects him. And he's not the first guy to do this. Don't get me wrong. There is a ton of fake generous celebrities, a ton of fake generous corporations. It's like the NFL is nonprofit. Okay, we all know that's a bunch of bull. They simply get to sit there and take all the food that they don't, surprisingly, all the food that they can't sell at the games that they're charging a ridiculous marked up price for. Wow, doesn't all sell. So what do? They give it out to charity, and they get to write. And if they write off, and if they get to return a certain amount, they get to write off their profits. Wow, aren't they generous? Aren't they great? I bet you Roger Goodell, you know what? I bet for a commissioner that makes, I believe the NFL commissioner is around like $5 to $6 million. You know, I bet he sleeps on sticks. I bet he donates his house to the homeless. That's what he does, right? Like, without getting too far off topic, it's, you know, it's like Jehovah's Witnesses, they irritate me because they go door to door and they always tend to do it in certain neighborhoods compared to going to other neighborhoods where they're not expecting to get the same kind of return. But don't worry, they're doing it for the goodness of their heart, spreading the word. I have an issue with fake generosity. You want to be genuine? You want to be kind? Go give $20. You know what? You want to really be generous and kind? And this is kind of a California thing, but anyone can do it. Go across the border and bring about 5 or 6 blankets and give it to the kids that are sleeping in a back alley in TJ that might die of frostbite tonight. Before you want to come over here and start talking about, well, now that I make $35 million a year, I think I can give a couple bucks back to the community. Fuck out of here.